Hi, Allie.
Hello.
Hi.
And hello, wonderful listeners. And welcome back to another wonderful edition of Tides of Esthios.
Ooh, fancy name.
Last time, while we were following our humble heroes of sorts.
Humble?
Yeah, fair.
Neither one of them.
Trying to gas you up a little bit, but yeah, let's be honest here. But as we joined Sylvie and Valora, as they were both ending up in the same place trying to attend the Hillcrest Harvest Festival, and fate brought them together on that night, and since then had a interesting happening in Valora's bedroom.
The
sluggening, as you coined it.
As Sylvie coined it.
As a strange creature was in her room. You guys investigated that and the weird noise outside, where you discovered some trails of crimson on the ground and were confused by that for the night, but attended the festival, played some games.
There was an assassination, but it's fine.
Well, we'll get to that. You guys played some games. Valora won a whole keg through her fancy game. And as the opening ceremony was going to take place, it was kind of postponed as Mr. Colborn hadn't shown up yet to attend his opening ceremony that he usually does. And upon Pimrick telling you guys about it a little bit and investigating, you guys
He's very paranoid right now.
Very paranoid. You guys stumbled upon a corpse.
A headless one.
Yeah.
A headless corpse.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was about to get there. Don't worry. Yes, a headless corpse. Upon which a somewhat familiar old man shouted at the top of his lungs that adventure was upon him and ran into the Hillcrest Manor.
Oh, Elmer.
Upon which point we will return to the two of you guys and
because you've
begin
met
the
him.
game.
Sylvia doesn't know who the heck he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir!
But we continue with the old man hobbling along past the iron gates, heading into the house.
I think they were both running after
Yeah,
him,
we were
right?
both running after him at the end of the last session.
So the two of you guys kind of follow him. You're stepping away from the festival grounds at this point and going back towards where the mansion is, just across from the tavern you guys were staying at, essentially. Not too far away from it. Going inside the iron gates, you see a fairly well-kept garden area with the lawn of sorts. Nice flowers growing outside, a little row of sunflowers that are right in front of a front window. When you go up to a nice wooden door, the outside is a nice kind of forest green that the wood's been painted. You guys step inside and see a nice living area as you guys go in. It's fairly dark inside. It seems like any of the lighting fixtures are not currently on at the time, and the windows have had their blinds kind of drawn shut, so it's not easy when you see inside here.
Yeah.
Sus.
Mm-hmm.
There's a vampire. Please no.
Please no.
On first glance, the things that kind of stand out in this room are on the far side. There's a fireplace that is not being used at the moment. And above that, you see a nice family portrait that shows...
Of course there's a family portrait.
It shows a very elegant young man with a beard that matches the one that you could see, even though he had his coat covering most of his face. You make out that same black beard that you've seen that he had.
Okay.
In the painting, there's also a wife in an elegant dress, and you also see a small boy that's kind of standing between them with both their parents' hands on his shoulders.
Are they all human?
Yes, they're all human.
Okay.
Is
it like one of those huge paintings that like you could stand next to and it's almost...
It's not massive like that. It's not anything that's... One thing you make out when you look in this is that the inside isn't overly regal.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, obviously it's more than anything that you guys would be able to afford to have, but it's still modestly
Okay.
elegant. It's not as
So
if
it's not
they've
like super
thrown...
rich people type.
No, money hasn't been
Okay.
thrown left, right, and center. The table is still, while it's finely crafted, it's just a wooden table that kind of sits there in front of the fireplace.
Okay.
The other thing that stands out to you guys is that to the left of all that, on the left side of the house, there's a staircase that has essentially been very haphazardly blockaded, I guess you can say, because covering it is just all kinds of loose items. Couches have been put on top of it. All kinds of loose... Anything that seems like it could be moved was put onto the staircase
Is it
in a
going up
haphazard
or
fashion.
down?
It goes up.
Okay. That doesn't change my concern.
So they don't want anyone getting upstairs.
Yeah. Or they don't want anything coming
Coming
down.
Ugh.
Both are questionable. I was gonna say, I swear, if there's a monster in the basement, that's...
And
But no,
there
it's
are
going up.
also...
we are the monsters in the basement.
there are 2 doors on the right-hand side when you guys go inside. The second one is slightly open.
Interesting.
We don't see Elmer.
Yeah, where'd Almer go?
Not at the moment, no.
What?
Okay.
Is he just...
You were surprised for how slow he usually moved around. Once he screamed adventure, he was excited and moving and barely had to use that staff of his to get around.
Oh my god, he's a sleeper agent. That's what activates in his brain. Adventure.
You do hear a little bit of noise coming from the second door, the one that is
The one that's
slightly
open?
Oh, so he's probably already investigating.
Okay, so I feel like they both like barge into the house. And Valora's looking around and she sees the open door. She just lets out a huge sigh. I'm gonna go follow him.
Do you know him?
Well, not really, but he was on the same carriage.
Oh. Because he didn't seem to be surprised by your presence at all, so...
No, he was very energetic.
Yeah, I can see that. Should we go just make sure that he's still alive?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, let's go. She's gonna go towards the... First, I want to, before we walk in, can I do a perception check to make sure it is him in there and not somebody else?
Okay, make a
If
perception
I
check.
hear old man noises behind the door, if it's something, terrifying.
Okay.
Oh, great start. That's a natural 1.
Oh my god.
On my new dice.
Oh, no.
You saw that happen.
Yeah, I did.
Even from here, I see just that
no.
singular
The single line.
Great start.
Oh, no.
Great start.
You got no idea. You're just in the moment,
Great start.
you know.
How dark is it in here?
I can't even Tides of Chaos.
Pretty much all of the light that's kind of making it in, that's natural light, is what's through the door that you got, the front door you guys opened to get in here. Other than that, because, any of the lighting fixtures that are around, they're not on at the moment right now that you see. And the blinds for all of the windows are closed at the moment.
Okay.
God.
Yeah, Valora's gonna slowly head up to the open door and just kind of peer in. See if she can see him.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check quick for me.
I can't hear anything. She gives a thumbs up.
Let me see.
What will it be? What will it be?
Well, it's a natural 4.
Oh.
So for a 9.
That's
For a
better
9?
than a natural 1.
Well, you peek your head into this door for the door frame. And looking inside, you see a small but elegant dining room area. You see that there's this kind of deep green tablecloth on a modest sized table. It looks like it could be set to have a little bit of company, but could sit maybe 8 people at the most. When you look inside, there's not much light, but with your dark vision that you have, you can see, there's the table looks like it was set. There's still some dishes there. And you see, even with a 9, didn't really matter too much. You see a small figure with a pointy hat You see him at the table at the moment. He's got his hand in a bread basket and he's currently munching on a little bit of food as he's standing by the table.
Jesus. Okay.
Does this man have ADHD? Because, like, mood.
Valora puts her hand on the door and, like, fully swings it open. And she barges in.
Oh, Jesus! He, like, points the staff towards you.
She raises a hand axe towards him.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Yeah, well, we just have a nice little treat.
Sylvie just slowly peeks her head in the door. What's going on? Oh.
Oh, hi there.
Bread?
Want some? He holds his hand out with a little bit there.
She, like, narrows her eyes, but she's like, we're looking for a murderer.
Yeah, it's a little stale, I know, but
What?
Well, the stairs are a little blocked up, so.
What's your name? I don't.
Oh, my name? Alma the Wondrous. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Sylvie, me.
Wonderful, Sylvie the me.
I'll work on it. I'm working on it.
Dear.
I'll workshop it later.
Of course.
I don't really have a title. It's just me.
And that's wonderful.
She just kind of scratches the back of her head.
Valora just, like, puts her hand up to her forehead and just kind of shakes her head. Almer, you saw that the stairs were blocked, so you just gave up and went to go eat bread?
I didn't give up yet.
Snack
So the
break.
stairs were blocked, came in here, I saw the bread, and wanted to try the bread. And here I am.
In the meantime, Sylvie's gonna take a torch out of her bag and light it with prestidigitation.
Ooh, pretty.
Adventure torch.
Always good to have those.
Okay, well, I'm going to go deblock the stairs so we can investigate what's up there.
Ooh, you could probably just throw everything with your bare hands.
Valora kind of looks away because that's exactly what she was planning on doing. She's like,
She just has this huge grin on her face. She really wants to see this happen, and it's very obvious.
Valora just kind of shrugs and nods and goes.
Yes! And she just follows.
She goes over to the stairs to
Holding
start
up her adventure torch.
trying to move away the biggest thing.
Okay,
That's
so as you go over there, you see that there's a lot of haphazard stuff that's been placed there. But you can go ahead and make an attempt to start moving some of the things.
If there's anything piled on there that's 10 pounds or less, can Sylvie use her mage hand to help?
I mean, there's a few things that'll be like that,
Like
but
little
there's like
things?
tables, there's a couple of couches that are on there. There's like a wardrobe that's up towards the top. There's,
She's just gonna move the
She's gonna
There's
try to
some
move
stuff.
if there's like a couch or a table that's like towards the bottom. She wants to try to move it to see if it'll bring other things down with it.
Okay.
I would
So,
help you, but I know my limits.
I'm gonna go
Most
look
of the
around.
time.
Well, guess it's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and give me an athletics check to see if you can find something you can move.
15.
Ooh.
15? Some of the items there,
I wanted you to get a nat 20 so bad.
I know, right?
and that 20 would have been
You
something.
move everything.
Because you go to one of the couches towards the bottom, and as you start to move it, you feel that it is pretty tough to move. It seems like a lot of the weight has kind of pressed down on everything from the top, and all of that has compressed the weight forward to where instead of it being as if like it's just the couch that you're trying to move, it has the weight of everything above it and beyond it
Okay.
pushing down on that point. So as you're going to move it, typically be able to move a couch on your own, but as you're trying to move it, you feel it's way heavier because everything else is kind of weighing down on it.
Okay.
And you're not quite able to move the things on the stairs.
Valora like grunts and like pulls it, and then she just kind of rolls her shoulders and shakes her head. There's too much stuff up on the top, but if there's no way to get to the top, then I can't move anything from down here.
Huh. Okay. What's like on the top? Is there anything small on the top, or is it all just big stuff?
It's a lot of big stuff. I mean, there's some small things mixed in with it, but there's just a heap of things that have been thrown down the stairs that have just built up this pile of
Is there
mess.
like a Jenga piece that can be taken out that would like disrupt everything?
Make a perception check.
Okay, let's try this again, dice. Okay.
Okay, that's not bad.
Natural 14 for a 15.
15. You give it a solid look over.
She's focusing real hard.
It does not appear as if there's any single thing that could cause to like
landslide.
unblock it or cause a landslide of sorts. It seems like a lot of it, even though it's haphazard, it's just kind of created a very condensed cluster that is
This is just all jammed.
pretty. Yes. It does look like you could make an attempt to climb over it if you're small enough, but it could be a difficult task to do so.
Valora puts her giant hand on Sylvia's shoulder and she just kind of pats it. This is really suspicious and we need to get up there.
Yeah.
So just stay down here. Can you use your mage hand for me?
For what?
And Valora touches, she has a amulet around her neck that is a wooden owl. And she touches it and she's going to wild shape into a rat.
What?
Okay.
What?
Yes. So you watch suddenly as she grabs the owl amulet and shrinks down to a tiny little mouse.
You're a druid! Yes, she screams at it.
Valora squeaks and she lifts her little rat head to gesture for you to hold out your mage hand.
Oh! And she puts her torch in her like non-dominant hand, just whooshes the little mage hand and just like holds it down for her to climb
And Valora,
on.
she's a pretty big rat. Like she's all black and she has still her golden like amber eyes as she scurries onto the mage
She
hand.
is the whole 10 pounds.
And she scurries onto the mage hand.
I like this.
She squeaks at you.
You're so cute!
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
I want to hug you, but we have stuff to do. And she's like just slowly and carefully lifts her as far up the whole 30 feet as she can.
Okay, yeah. So with your mage hand with a tiny little rat on top of it.
Not that tiny.
So are you trying
This
to go
buff
like
rat.
so you're trying to like
This rat is jacked.
Oh no.
trying to maneuver around the top of the stairs to
Just like a
get
little
up top?
glider.
Yep. So just
Like
easily
a hoverboard.
glides up top to where your little rat self pops up on the top of the stairs beyond all of the
Beyond all of the blockage.
blockage
Okay.
and junk. Yeah.
So yeah, Valora's gonna scamper off the mage hand, and she's gonna keep the wild shape, and she's gonna go upstairs and try to investigate while she's still small.
Okay. So when you go up the stairs, immediately in front of you is a large set of wooden double doors in front of you. And then off to the side, there are 3 more rooms off to the right-hand side when you're up there
Jeez.
that are just single doors.
So like right when I reach the top of the stairs, it's just
Towards the top of the stairs, there's like the fine set of double doors there. Okay. And then when you go like around the corner, there's a hallway there, and you see 3 rooms, which you could assume is kind of like a, where the living quarters, the bedrooms of sorts would be over there.
Okay. Are they all closed?
There is 1 door that is open.
Okay, she's gonna go for that one because she can't do anything else as a rat.
I was gonna go to the door that wasn't open when we came in.
Downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead and check.
Divide and conquer.
We'll go ahead and check downstairs real quick. Downstairs real quick. Downstairs. But you, Sylvie, go into a room which Almer went ahead and as well. You guys were doing your stair things. And you come into this kind of storage room area. You see a lot of wooden shelves that are lined up, and you see a lot of harvest good in there. You see wooden barrels, just a lot of basic storage seemingly for food and that kind of thing in here. And you can make a perception check quick.
Okay. Oh, 5. Oh no. It was almost an 11.
All right. Well, you see off on the far end, Almer is like on top of a ladder right now.
Interesting.
There's one of those. It's one of those.
Oh, he's gonna fall.
No.
It's like just this really basic wooden ladder. And as you go in there up top, you can see that there is like a hatch above it
Oh.
that he's currently like knocking at, tugging at, pushing at. And he's like, I found a way up, but I can't get in there.
You can't?
No matter. I can't push. I can't pull. It doesn't move.
Interesting. Is there like a handle on it or anything? Or is it
Make an investigation check.
oh gosh,
As he kind of steps aside and lets you take your way with it.
Oh no.
Natural 1 on a different D20.
Well, there's no handle.
You can see that.
You can see that. There's no handle there.
Oh my god! Why is Sylvie cursed? Maybe,
Boy.
maybe
Your dice are being impolite today.
maybe.
Just like the
For the
first
next-
session.
Oh, man.
God. This means I'll just get a nat 20 at some point.
Exactly.
That's what this
Exactly.
means.
It'll balance out.
Don't
worry.
Is there any way that I think that freezing this might help weaken it in any way? Can I like deduce that?
You don't know, but you can certainly try.
Oh God, there's the line. Elmer, you should get back up a little bit.
I should back. Oh, okay.
Get down the ladder.
Okay.
Get down. Careful.
I'm away. What are you doing?
Don't worry about it. She's
Well, I have my full trust in you.
okay. Most people who say that leave the next day.
No.
I wouldn't do that. You seem so nice.
Other people have said that too. She just
Okay.
holding the torch in one hand, takes out her sickle, which is a crystal sickle. It's just her arcane focus. Swirls it around. Some familiar frost energy gathers around it. She casts Ray of Frost on the door.
Okay. Is Ray of Frost an attack?
It
It's not a
is.
saving throw, right? Go ahead and make an attack on
Okay.
the hatch of sorts.
23.
That'll hit a door, yes.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll damage of sorts on it.
Okay. 8 on
Nice.
the D8.
Okay, so you swirl up this energy and you throw it at the door and you kind of start freezing it along the edges. It seems like it's definitely done something to the door, but it hasn't unlodged it at the moment or anything. You can make another investigation quick if you so choose.
Okay, natural 18 for 19.
19? Okay,
See,
so
once magic's involved, then she gets in the groove.
you've thrown your Ray of Frost at this trapdoor of sorts that you're looking at. And you investigate it, you see how it's kind of affected the wood a little bit. The one thing you notice, now that you're focusing on where your spells hit, is that there's no hinges on this side, which shows to you that the part where it kind of folds is on the top side and would open upwards. Instead of pulling down, it pushes up. The other thing you notice, now that you've put your spell there and you're little up closer to it with your torch in hand, is that looking at it, you see a spot that kind of froze a bit easier and quicker, as if it was already a little damp.
Interesting. Damp. With what? Blood? Is there red ice there now?
The ice didn't change color or
Okay.
anything.
Interesting. She's gonna hit it again with the Ray of Frost, but where the damp spot was.
Okay, is there anything you're trying to do with that, or?
She wants to try and break the door because that's what she knows that she can't. She knows she's not strong enough to push it up. Hey, Elmer, question.
Oh, yes.
Should I hit it with more ice or should I hit it with fire?
This place is made of wood.
I know, but like it's cold, so it'll just melt it.
Why don't you just like hit it with your little whatever the thing you've got there is?
It's a crystal sickle. She looks a little offended. It's pretty obvious what it is.
Well, then hit it.
I'm not good at hitting things. She's gonna take out a dagger and throw it.
Oh my god.
Okay.
At the weak spot.
Roll to hit with it.
Yep. 11.
That just hits.
God!
For wooden items, I believe, that is just the DC they need to hit them.
Jeez.
Go ahead and roll damage a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, damage. It's not gonna be much.
I know it's not much.
Ooh, 4 on the D4, so
nice.
6.
6? Okay, so you throw a dagger up into this weak spot that you've kind of helped create with your ray of frost that's kind of iced it over.
Yeah.
You throw your dagger and it pierces through the ice and it makes it kind of crumble and little bits of the wood start to fall through to where you can actually see a little bit through it. Were you standing on the ladder or were
No.
you off of it now?
She was off of it. She was like next to it.
Okay, so you throw it and the dagger goes through and crumbles a bit of the wood before the dagger falls back down to the ground.
She'll pick it up real quick.
Some of the wood splinters come down and you start to see small red drips start to come.
I knew it!
Mm-hmm.
Elmer,
Yeah?
you see that right?
Kind of sticks his hand out,
The blood.
gets a couple drops.
What? Ew!
Oh, yeah, that's blood.
Ew!
Yeah, kind of wipes it off on his robe.
She prestidigitations it off of him because
Oh,
it's
thank you.
disgusting.
That makes my life a lot easier for me tonight.
Can you not do that?
I was checking.
Can you not use prestidigitation? It's basic magic.
I mean, I can. I just didn't think I wanted to. I didn't think I had to.
What? She is baffled by this old man. She hates the thought of just wiping blood on her clothes just so casually.
Listen, it's easier to do it the old-fashioned way. Then you know it's actually clean.
Uh-huh. Anyway, she's gonna reattach her sickle to her waist, and she wants to try and climb up the ladder to investigate this. Can she, actually beforehand, can she use her mage hand to, push anything aside? Like any kind of wood that got destroyed to get more of an opening, or is it just...
Anything that was loose
Partially.
kind of came down.
Okay.
Everything else is still sturdy on
Okay.
there.
Dang
You
it.
can see the opening through a little bit. You can see some blood dripping through. And you can see as you climb up the ladder, you see that there's something on top of it. But you can't quite make out what.
Elmer!
Yeah?
Was the blood warm?
Gets a couple
Oh
more
my
drops.
god! No, don't do it!
No.
Ew.
It's been a little bit.
Ew.
Not too long, but
Why are you like this?
you asked if it was warm, so I was
asked if you
feeling it.
remembered if it was warm.
I didn't. I didn't pay attention to that.
I miss Flora. Can I make? Is this like a person-sized thing up here, or is it like an animal? Can I tell if I hold the torch up?
Looking at it, you see what appears to be cloth.
Interesting.
So it doesn't seem to be like there's no fur as if it was an animal.
Huh. I think this is a person.
Oh, that's not good.
No. What do we do? How do we get them down? Do we get them down?
I don't know.
You don't know. I thought you were an experienced adventurer.
I'm old and retired.
Well, you still have experience, right?
A little bit.
You came running to this place screaming adventure.
Yeah.
Follow your dreams, Almer. Discover the murder mystery.
Well, right now our dreams are kind of blocked up a little bit.
Yeah, help me unblock it.
He points. What am I supposed to do?
I don't know. Use your brain like I did.
Let me go push it up so I can get the body. Have you tried pushing it? It doesn't. He's blocking it.
I could always set it on fire.
You'll set the house on fire.
I could put it out with ice.
Oh my god, no.
Controlled burning. Is that what it's called?
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go find somewhere else.
Because Valora turned into a rat, by the way.
Oh.
I thought she was a barbarian. I think she's a druid.
You might be onto something here.
Because I asked her and she squeaked, and I think that means yes.
Always means yes.
Right?
Double squeak is no.
She went upstairs, so
Maybe she'll find something.
maybe.
He's going to, as you're having this conversation, look you over quick. And he's going to make an insight check on you.
Interesting.
That is a dirty 20. You can roll a deception if you want to.
I will. Okay. I think that's a dirty 20 for me. Yes, that's also a dirty 20.
A deception?
Uh-huh.
Do we want to re-roll, or how do we want to address a tie on this front?
Ty, you can re-roll.
Let's re-roll.
Yeah.
Okay. It's an 18 this time.
Ooh. 23.
23? Kind of looks, and he's like, he was kind of looking kind of curious. He's like, I get why you're holding the torch. I guess it gives you a little bit more light. Dark vision can be funky sometimes. It's all just gray.
Atmosphere. Adventure.
Adventure atmosphere. Yes.
Because when you think of adventure in a dark place, what do you think of? Torches.
Yes. I like your style, kid.
She grins proudly, one hand on her hip.
Come on, let's find something else.
Okay.
So, as they march away, we'll go back to tiny little mouse Valora.
Rat.
Buff rat. Yes, let me get it correct.
I know you didn't describe her as buff, but I just pictured this really muscular rat.
No, I don't like that.
Walking on back legs.
No.
T-posing.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
For
Please
dominance.
don't.
Don't draw that.
Buff rat.
Please do.
She still has her hair.
No, that's even worse.
Holding a little toy toothpick axe.
Oh my god.
The blade is paper that was cut out of like construction paper.
But as you're in this hallway, you see that the second door was open a little bit, and you're able to notice this door is open a little bit because you actually see a little bit of light pouring in from this room, as compared to where everywhere else is dark in here right now. So you go inside, and you find a very nice, elegant bedroom. You see it's like one of those fancy canopy beds that has nice silk sheets and the little drapings above it.
Fancy.
Looks like this is essentially the master bedroom of sorts. As you look around in here, and the immediate thing you notice once you come in, to the right, like as you kind of squeeze past the door, you're able to make it in pretty easily in your rat form, but you see that right behind the door, the wardrobe has been toppled over behind it. Other than that, you see that there's kind of a small little desk area in here. There's a wardrobe off on the side. You also see one of those doors for a dumbwaiter over built in the side of the wall.
I always thought it was such a funny name for that
what?
thing.
A dumb. So this is something it's not relevant in most households anymore, but it's one of those devices typically attached to a kitchen where it has a small little compartment, and it's like a little mini elevator where you can put in food or items, and you can transport it up and down.
Like, like those old Victorian homes.
Yeah.
Those like big like mansions.
Yeah, you see one of those built into the wall there.
Interesting. Okay. So when I'm looking at the toppled over wardrobe from behind the door, can I assume that it was there to block the door? Is that what it looked like? That it was moved?
Make an investigation check.
Okay. 10.
Oh.
10. As you look around, it looks like it may have been. You see the wardrobe that's kind of, I would say it seems to be that case, because the wardrobe is not where you would think it should be in this room. It does seem like it was kind of moved or toppled to potentially block the door. You're not quite sure for certain, but it does seem out of place with where it is there.
Okay. I'm gonna go look over at the desk. Is there anything on the desk?
You're a little mouse, so you cannot see.
Can I climb up?
Yeah,
Is there like
sure.
a little chair or something that I can climb up?
She's not
and
a
then
mouse. She's
get
a
on the...
rat. She's a buff rat.
You can make a couple little small jumps up there.
Okay.
You see, actually, the chair, like you can still get up, but the chair in front of the desk is also toppled over.
What else in this room is toppled over?
Make a perception check for me, quick.
14.
14? I say that's good enough.
Good enough's good.
You see it, this chair is toppled over, which is weird to you, but you're able to hop up onto the side and then get up on top of the desk, and you peer around quick. and you see that like the bed sheets are like a mess on this one side of the bed. And you kind of trace over to where you see the chair is toppled over towards the door side. Mm-hmm. And then you see the wardrobe that is toppled over in front of the door. And even with that 14 kind of trace essentially a line of resistance of sorts, as if there is a scuffle of sorts that kind of went through this side of the room.
Okay.
A struggle! We're at Valora as part of the CSI now.
Okay, so now that I'm on top of the desk, is there anything on the desk? Like any like papers or anything?
As you look through there, there's no papers or anything. There's like a small little jewelry box that's there. But this looks very much, when you look on top, it seems like this is probably like the wife's dresser and desk that's there with the she uses to get herself set up and dressed for each day if she's going to go out and the like.
Right.
But you don't see any like papers or anything like that up here.
So it just looks like there was a scuffle in the room and that someone went to board up the door.
Essentially,
that's what
yeah.
I can assume from here. Okay.
Yeah, you get a glean that looks like a fairly fair assumption that you can make.
Okay. Was there another story to this house, or was it just 2 stories?
It's 2 stories.
Okay.
And you're on the 2nd story right now.
Okay. Can I just look around the room once more, see if there's anything else that catches my eye?
Yeah, go and make a perception check.
I just thought of something. Valorat.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's her name she's known for. Valorat.
Oh my god.
17 perception.
17. Looking around as you're kind of scanning the area, it doesn't seem like there's anything else that could be of use to you in this area. You kind of see the scuffle that happened in this room, but other than that, you don't find anything that looks like it'd be of help to you or of any answers for what you're looking for necessarily that would be useful to you in this moment.
Okay, so Valora's gonna scurry down the desk, down the chair. She's gonna go back out. Is there any way she can get through the other door that's closed? Like, is there like a gap that's like big enough?
Does not appear to be the case.
Okay. So there's just the other door that's locked, and then the double doors?
So there are still 2 more regular doors, and then there's the big double doors.
Okay.
You don't know if they're locked or not. You're a rat, so you can't really touch the handle.
Yeah. I don't think she has a choice. She's gonna wild shape back into her human form.
Yes.
And she's just gonna try to go to the closest door and open it.
All right, so because you were in the middle door, essentially, so you can go to, if you're just out of the doorway, to your left at the end, there's 1 door, and then to your right, there's 1 door, and then there's the big study door.
She'll go to the one on the left.
Okay. So you go to that door, pull on the handle, and you're able to open it. And you see a fairly simple, modest room. It has like a little single bed in here. Off to the side, you see a really simple desk that's there. And then off in the back, you see a dresser, and you see a body that is propped against the dresser.
I'm like, he saves bodies for last. It's leading up to a body, isn't it?
Okay.
Okay.
Valora's gonna go over to the body.
Okay, so you go over.
Okay.
You go over to the body. You see that
It's
this
a simple
one
body.
does have a head.
Oh.
But they have on like a kind of tuxedo-esque attire. I'd look very formal. Almost seems like it's a servant quarters of some kind here.
Oh.
But you
Yikes.
look at the body and you see that it is a large gash that's on its face and comes down towards its torso.
Ooh.
And they are dead.
Christ.
As I bend down to look at it, is it a human?
Looks human, yes.
Okay, human. Is it wrapped up in anything, or it's just flat out
It's
body.
just there.
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna look around and see if there's any sign of like a struggle, any more like blood splatters, any sign of a weapon, anything like that.
Make an investigation check quick for me.
13.
13. So you look around. You don't find like an immense sign of struggle like you did in the other room, where you saw like this whole scene that seemed to play out in front of you. This one seems very small, simple, one-sided, I guess you can say. It doesn't even seem like the body was deliberately placed there. That's just where it ended up after what happened
God.
in their situation.
Okay.
You do see that the body is slightly laying on top of a trapdoor of sorts. And on top of another half of that is the dresser that he's propped up against.
Wait a second.
And you also see this ice that's coming up through the cracks.
I was
you hear
waiting for
a
that.
little bit of muffled talking downstairs between Sylvie and Almer.
Oh, that's funny.
Valora's gonna like kind of listen for a second, and then she's just gonna ignore it for a minute, and she's gonna go through the guy's body to see if she can find anything on him.
Okay. As you scan through and
Loot that
search
body.
through his body, you don't find any money on him or anything. But you do find this small little like leather planner book that he has inside of like his little coat pocket that he has. It's got a tiny little quill on it that he uses. And you kind of look through it and you can see it's got like basic notes for things he has to do on a certain day, certain weeks, certain month. Like, oh, I need to go make sure I take care of these plants over here. You see he kind of goes around, and if Colborn is out, he'll kind of go check on some of the farms in the area, make sure if there are any supplies that they need help getting. He also helps out at the tavern every once in a while with Pimrick if he needs extra supplies or anything like that.
Oh.
And occasionally there's some personal notes in there. And as you flip through to the last page that has any writing on it, you see some, like a small little journal entry on there.
Okay.
I'll go
Oh,
ahead and read for you.
Oh, God.
Gosh.
And he writes,
Today my wife had our first child. No, stop! No! I'm so excited to be a father.
gotta recompose myself from that one. You see his little note says, Mr. Colborn has been acting strange today. Ever since he arrived, he has holed himself up in his study, muttering to himself. As far as I was concerned, his business dealings with Wilburn Thright were a done deal, so I don't understand why he would be upset. Even then, this is far from how he usually acts. He usually updates his business deals and accounts for spending time with his family, but young Master Lane has been in the study with him for nearly 2 hours now. Mayhaps he received grave news while in... He kind of trails off for a minute. I shouldn't bother him in that case. I'll assist the missus in preparing his welcoming meal for the time being. And that's the last thing he's written in there.
Valora,
Conveniently left out the location.
I know. Valora closes the journal and pockets it, and then she tucks her arms under his armpits to move him away from the trapdoor.
Okay.
And then she's also going to try to move the dresser away from the trapdoor as well.
Yeah, with your strength, those are easy moves. You're able to kind of pull the body away, and suddenly Sylvia and Almer start hearing a dragging sound upstairs.
She actively hears the scream underneath.
And then you
It's me.
Oh!
you,
Hi!
you pull
She
the
waves
dresser
even though
to
you
the
probably can't
side.
see her.
You pull the dresser to the side, and then you're able to pull the door open and kind of tear away at the frost that was on
Yeah.
the bottom side of it. As you lift it open, now you can peer down and see the little ladder there and your two compatriots.
She's smiling. She points to the front. She's like, I did that.
Oh, good work.
Thanks! She looks genuinely happy that you said good word.
Well, you can come up now.
I can. She immediately goes up the ladder.
Yep, ladies first. And you go up the ladder, and Almer slowly climbs up with his staff behind you and gets on.
Don't
up
look at my
top.
skirt.
I waited for you, Jesus. But he gets up there and joins you guys. He looks and he's like, "Up, there's the culprit right there."
Well, he was a servant.
Well, I meant for the trapdoor, but I mean, he could have been the culprit too. Could have been a suicide.
Huh?
I don't think so. And she pulls out the journal and hands it to Sylvie.
To Sylvie. Yeah. She
Just
looks through it.
Flip through the last page.
Flip.
He kind of rolls over the body and sees that. Like, oh, I wouldn't do that to myself. Oh shit!
Will you stop? Why couldn't he write the location?
I don't know.
It was the last word in the sentence. Who does that? Who?
DMs, I don't want us to know secrets.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make an insight check quick.
Okay.
And I'd say everyone can make
Natural 20.
Whoa! I don't even need to make one.
No, I'll go ahead and say that you're kind of looking at that and you kind of see that and it's weird and you kind of look around the room a little bit and as you go to the side, you see like this weird locking mechanism that's up on the top of the door as if it seems like there are security measures that can be taken in the house sometimes based off of with your insight, like you can kind of understand, you know, you've been around in Hillcrest for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard about Colborn a little bit, even though he was out of town for a while.
Yeah.
He is one of the richest people on this side that helps out. And you can kind of understand that that can lead to him being a target sometimes for people. And you see that and you look at the book and you almost wonder as if for a little bit he was going to kind of say something, but pulled back as if it's a security thing of sorts to kind of, if anything was to go wrong, to not give out information for someone that would be continuing
Makes sense.
nefarious deals if anything was to go wrong at some point.
As Sylvia's just looking around and she stares at, she just gets this dawn of realization on her face. She's like, he redacted it on purpose. Safety precaution. Because this guy is important and has a lot of money, so...
Right, that makes sense.
It makes sense. Okay, I can't be mad at him. But what the heck happened to him?
Oh, it's bad.
Can I try and see what kind of weapon did this?
Make a medicine check.
Okay. That's natural 8.
Well, let's see what it brings.
4, 9.
9. You look at it. You can't quite tell what particularly did anything to it. The one thing you can make out is that it is not a clean wound. So it does not seem like for this cut it wasn't as if it was a sharp blade of some kind.
Oh.
It's
almost worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a clean wound that's on him. It's very rough. It's jagged. You can see where, like, instead of being sliced, some of the skin just tore instead.
Okay, so, this isn't a blade. This is, I wonder if this was with like a spiked mace or something. It was not.
Can Valora look down at it and try to
Yeah, you can make a medicine
see if
check.
she can see what
She
kind of
kinda,
weapon
like
it was?
nudges it with her foot a little bit.
Don't worry, it's not going anywhere.
No, I know. It's
15.
15?
Ooh, that's way better.
I would say with a 15, you look at it, you can solidly tell that this is not any kind of manufactured weapon that did this. The wound is too rough for any weapon. You know, even if someone used, you know, a more blunt force weapon and like ripped down with it, you would see various signs like that.
Yeah.
It's a very unnatural weapon that caused this.
Can you tell? You like weapons?
It doesn't make sense. It it wasn't, like a weapon. It was more like a improvised sort of.
Oh.
Yeah,
doesn't
she's
have-
right.
Any clear patterns or signs of it being, a blade or a mace or
What if
anything
it
like
was
that.
claws?
Maybe just look at this. He kind of peels back at some of the skin where it's ripped.
Ew!
That ain't a weapon right there.
What is wrong
Puts it back.
with you?
I mean, wouldn't claws just make more of a, more straight lines?
What if
too?
they only used one claw? And they didn't file it recently, so it's a little blunt.
Valora's gonna look
Did
down at the body again. Doesn't
things
look
file
like it
their
could be a claw
Ow.
mark.
As you look at it, not necessarily. No, because even claws, while they are a bit rougher, tend to leave cleaner wounds than this. And it's just a single one. A lot of times there'll be claws where you'll find lines of like 3 or 4. This is just a single large gash through it.
See, what I don't understand is that if someone came here looking to, assassinate I forget his name.
Colborn.
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 If someone came to assassinate Colborn, then wouldn't they have came prepared with their own weapon?
Yeah. Oh, what did you find, by the way, up here? Did you find anything?
Well, yeah, in one of the rooms down there, what I assumed to be the master, it looked like there was a struggle in that someone attempted to board up the door.
Oh. Did you unboard the door?
I mean, it was already open,
Oh.
but there was just the wardrobe was falling down in front of it. It looked like someone attempted to board it up, but then the assailant got in.
So the only dead body up here is this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. How old did the body look that was found outside? Did it look like a young boy, perhaps?
The headless
No,
one?
because
Yeah.
the boy that's in the picture is like 10-year-old child,
Okay.
but it was an adult's body that you'd found
Okay.
outside.
And the clothes didn't match what Colborn would.
Yes.
Okay. So who the heck lost their head?
That I have no idea.
I'm about to at this point. Jesus.
What happened? Where's the wife? Where's the father? Where's the son? Where are they? Who lost their head? Where is the head?
I don't know.
That's the biggest question.
The last I saw, what I assumed to be Colborn was him rushing out of the carriage, just trembling.
And the journal, the whole like muttering to himself thing. Would I be able to make some kind of insight check to see if that's the kind of behavior that someone would have if they know they're being targeted by someone? Or is that too specific?
I would say right now, you're not necessarily sure what's going on.
Nah.
But I will say with your natural 20 insight of sorts that you had from
I knew I'd get
before,
one. That's how it always goes.
I mean, you saw that he was mentioning that Colborn had been acting weird and muttering to himself since he
Yeah.
came back. So you know that something normal's not going on.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he was out of character ever since he came back home.
So wherever he came from, something happened there that got him all in a tizzy.
Yes.
So if we were able to figure out where he came from, if we go there, we might have more clues if we can figure out where that would be.
Also, because I got distracted by the note, but on the body you also found this spare metal key on him.
Oh, okay. Valera holds out the key.
A key! Why didn't you mention that sooner?
She remembered that she found.
Oh, it's understood. Notes are so much more interesting than little hunks of metal.
Yeah. True.
Unless they
There's
bring treasure.
a few more doors down the hall, and then there's a set of big double doors. So,
Double doors are usually, like, really important. That's why there's two.
sure. Yep.
Because the room's big.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a pair of double doors lead to a small room?
No.
Exactly! She just rushes out the door and goes to the next one. Whatever
So
one
out
that
of the
isn't-
door, the next room past that is the master bedroom that she had been in.
She just peeks inside. You've been in here already, right?
Yes.
She just keeps going to the next one.
And then you open the next door, and you enter into a room that is in a scene of utter chaos.
Oh.
Of toys everywhere scattered around the floor.
Oh my
You see
God.
little wooden toys. Some of them made into little small carriages. There's little small, like the basic
eyes
symbols that
light
make
up.
people there. When you go inside, it's a children's room. It has a nice bed there. The roof has had stars painted on all over it.
Ooh.
And you see the room that assumably belongs to the sun.
She runs in.
Okay.
Sylvie is 24 years old, everyone. 24 physically, 10 mentally.
All right. See, is there anything in particular to do when you run in there, or?
Oh, gosh.
I'll assume that the two of you follow
Yeah.
behind this wild child.
Yeah, Valora just
She's-
kind of carefully steps around the toys. So she
She's
doesn't
just
step on
looking
one.
at every single one of them to see if any of them are like... Because you know how sometimes toys will have some sort of like special feature to them or special mechanism or something like that. She's going to be looking for anything not typical for toys.
Go ahead and make an investigation check for me. Is there anything that Valora
Natural
is
20.
doing?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Anything that Valora's doing in the room?
I think that Valora is just kind of standing there, like thinking that being in this room is a waste of time. But she's just kind of making sure that no one's like coming to sneak up on them or anything. So she's kind of keeping guard.
Okay.
Like a
make
bouncer.
Yeah,
make
sure.
a perception check.
Okay.
Natural
As you
20 for
do that.
toy investigation.
That's funny.
That's on par with her
18.
psyche.
18. All right. So
Oh,
for
Sylvie.
Sylvie over here with your natural 20
Her priorities.
investigation, you're going through the toys, trying to see if there's anything interesting that stands out. You see all these special crafted models that are something you couldn't even dream to get your hands on
Yep.
before. And as you're
Growing
digging,
up on a farm. This is like bougie to her.
as you're digging through all this, because it's a bit of clutter on the ground,
She's used to that.
you see like a small little stack of like little drawings that's kind of mixed in the mess, and you can see like with crayon he's kind of drawn some little pictures of the family. He's tried to draw some landscapes and the like.
Where's the creepy ghost figure in the family? Where is it?
You're looking at all of these pictures, and you see the latest one that he's done that has his whole family there. It has him, his mom, and his dad, and they're all holding hands. But the dad isn't normal.
Oh boy.
You see that, especially compared to the other drawings where you can see that it's normal, you just see that the son is instead drawn like this large, lanky black figure with like a weird snarl
The son or
on
the
his
dad?
face. The dad.
Oh god. Huh. Lanky, like the joy is gone. the childlike whimsy is gone. She is just staring at this, like holding her torch up, and she's like, guys,
Okay.
I found something.
She found something. What was your perception again?
18.
18? Okay, so you're kind of scanning out of the doorway.
Like, this might be
You don't hear anything that's going on, and you just suddenly hear Sylvie in the back with concern behind you. Do you go in, or?
I'm just staring at Evan right now because you made me roll a perception check.
Yeah.
Then you're like,
Yeah.
no, there's nothing.
Nothing? Well, you said you wanted to investigate, or you wanted to check to see if there was anything out there. And you didn't hear anything.
I don't trust this.
I don't trust this.
Rule number 1, don't trust Evan.
That's a perfect rule to have in life.
Valora's still gonna stand in the doorway, and she's just gonna hold out one of her little hand axes, and she's just gonna be ready to throw if something comes. But she kind of like turns her head just slightly to glance over at Sylvie. What'd you find?
I found drawings. He's got some potential.
Okay.
Has shown a little bit of improvement over time. More practice, I think he could do, pretty good. But, the dad looks a little different in this, latest edition of his drawings. He's big and scary.
Could you be more specific?
What
do you mean?
Is he taller?
Yes.
He's, like, how much taller?
I'd say within the next 20, you can kind of... It's hard to tell if a child is drawing to scale, but almost seems to be twice the size.
He's, like, doubled in height. And he's got a snarl on his face. Are his eyes a different color?
They're just white.
Ew.
Oh, he has white eyes.
Just Sylvie, just bring it over here.
Okay. She'll pick it up, just kind of like carefully step over the toys and just like come up to your side and here you go. Just hold it straight up.
Laura looks down a little bit and looks at it.
It's not normal.
And she kind of realizes something. She tilts her head. In the servant's journal, he said that ever since he came back, that he's been acting strange.
That he wasn't himself anymore. And he was muttering to himself.
I just thought it was because he was being pursued, but...
Do you think he got possessed?
I don't know. Maybe it's something else entirely.
Demon Dad.
I love this girl, thanks.
Laura just sighs.
She's both being serious and not at the same time. It's hard to tell.
Possible. And she takes the paper from Sylvie and looks at it. Can Valora have any clue on what this thing is?
I was gonna ask the same thing.
You can make
any recognition slightly.
I say just roll intelligence checks.
Okay.
Intelligence. It's not my strong suit.
I think that's a 13.
Just intelligence?
Just flat intelligence.
That is, I rolled a 18, so 19.
13.
19?
We both have the same modifier. Plus 1.
Plus 1.
Sylvie, you're not quite sure.
Nope. Demon Dad.
Valora, you look through and you can tell that this definitely is not something normal. Once again, in similar recognition to when you found the weird monstrosity that was in your room, you know it is definitely not something normal or natural, whatever this child has drawn. Like, there's no person or race or monster that you've ever heard of that looks like this.
Demon Dad, the slugging part 2.
Valora, folds up the paper and hands it back to Sylvie. Just keep this.
Okay. I'm gonna write down Demon Dad drawing.
I have no idea what the child could have been drawing, but
yeah,
it gives me the same feeling as the slug.
Oh,
Demon
Slug Dad.
Valora just shakes her head. It's nothing natural to this world. Nothing like a monster or anything that I know of. I mean, it could be a monster, but it...
Like how I figured out that the slug was. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Do you... Wait a second. Do you think that the person who put that slug in your room was him? Was the dad? What if it, spawned off of him or something?
Valora furrows her eyebrows. I mean, it's possible. It's possible.
Like an amoeba.
Things are connected.
And then if you went on a rampage and killed somebody.
It is possible that he did that and that he was the person that killed someone outside of our rooms last night.
Mm-hmm.
And that he went and hid the body under the stage and then came back and killed his servant. None of this makes sense.
I want to know where the wife is.
And the son. Do you think they ran away in a panic?
You think people would have
heard
at least one person would have heard something?
Yeah.
Elmer! What are your thoughts on this? As a seasoned veteran adventurer man.
He's kind of, just lost his like, you may be right on some of those fronts. I think carry the two.
Carry the two?
And as he's doing all this, Flora, over your shoulder, you hear a clicking sound.
Oh. Christ. Is there a fucking gun to your head?
And you just kind of hear behind you over your shoulder, don't move.
What do I see? I'm like right next to her.
Make a perception check quick.
Perception?
Okay, because Valora was standing in the doorway.
Yes.
And she turned to face Sylvie.
Yeah,
10.
you turn just a
So
little.
they're in the doorway behind her.
Yeah.
Whatever this thing is.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
outside.
Okay.
10 perception.
10. You look behind and you see, you can't really see who's behind Flora, but with the 10 you see that the gun isn't pointed at Valora, but it's beside her. And Valora, you just suddenly hear a loud bang over your shoulder. You watch as, firstly, you hear your ears are now ringing as the shot goes over your shoulder.
Was there an invisible thing that was about to kill you?
But you hear this thud in the room, and then you hear screeching right in front of Almer as he's thinking, as another one of these slug things
Yo!
was on the roof and shot down and is melting and screaming in this room.
What?
The summoning part 2! And she points dramatically at it melting on the ground. She's panicked, but it's just what she came to her mind. And it's what she say.
Valora like puts her hand to her ear and watches watches the slug thing disintegrate, and
I was
she
like, oh, that's not, like kicks it a little bit. That's not normal.
Did it look like it was going for her? For Laura?
Well, you can assume by its position that it was probably right on top of Almer at this moment.
Oh. Almer, that was gonna like eat you or something.
Eat me.
It was gonna do something to you. I don't know what.
It's not even doing anything anymore. It's turning into sludge in front of him.
Who shot it? That was cool.
Valora
And you
turns
all
around to
turn around, and you see the gentleman, somewhat tall, wearing the brown duster jacket.
Oh, the
and
cool guy.
The hat on top. Has kind of long, straight black hair. He's like, saved you guys' ass. Name's Lucky.
Lucky. Are you lucky all the time?
I make my own luck.
That's cool. And she's just
All right now.
how'd you see it? It was invisible. Do you have like special vision or something?
I'm just good at what I do.
Are you a monster hunter?
Not monsters, but I take what I can get.
You're a
Bounty hunter, darling.
Ooh. Okay, cool. That's cool. Cool. That's actually really cool. Just like there's like things going on in her
All
head.
right, you seem like a sensible one to talk to.
Laura just kind of stares at him. What are you hunting?
Well, current job's not necessarily a person. Not supposed to hurt him, but I had clientele that really wanted me to get a hand on a little bit of his gold. So, came here, figured the festival was the perfect time to strike when he was going to be out and about in the festival. I would sneak on inside, get a little bit of money, but it seems that's a little bit complicated today.
Something happened.
Yeah, there's a lot
no
going
shit.
on. How?
The servant died.
I came in behind
She's
you
like
guys.
pointing at him. It wasn't. Oh yeah, it was in a different room. She points to where the direction of the room. A weapon didn't do it. It was some kind of improvised thing.
I saw. No idea what the fuck that is.
Oh.
Do you think one of the slugs did it?
Well, that was my first time seeing that. Don't know what the fuck that is.
How did you
but
see it?
I got a keen eye for things.
Keen eye for
I also saw its little fucking tendril peeking down, about to steal the little man's hat or his brain.
Or both.
Or both.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You owe me later, man.
So you don't happen to know what they are, by any chance?
That ain't my forte, missus.
He called you Mrs.
I'll switch to miss. My apologies.
Laura kind of glares at
She
Sylvie.
stops immediately. The smile disappears so fast. She's a literal child. She's an adult child.
You haven't seen any sign of the family?
Not yet. The only thing I've seen is the old servant man over there. But he ain't a part of the picture anymore. It seems like something a little outside of my pay grade is going on here. But,
Can I do an insight check to see if he's lying by omission, perchance?
Make an insight check.
Okay, I think it's only +1. Let's see here. Insight, yep, +1. So, 3.
3. Everything's up
He's
the ship
too
on this
cool.
one.
He's too cool.
Too cool. You are enthralled by this man.
He's too cool. How old is he? Is he like human? Like what?
You can't tell. He's humanoid-esque. He's got a fair complexion, skin. Because of his hat, you can't see his ears or anything. But he doesn't have any off-color skin as if he was like a tiefling or an orc or anything. He is humanoid.
And he's not like old.
No, he's young. Seems like he's in his 20s.
Okay. Write that down. Write that down.
Well, we have seemed to get caught up in all of this mess ourselves. And we're just trying to figure out what happened. Because I think something much bigger is at play here.
Yeah, you're right on that one.
Did you have a target last night?
Did I have a target last night?
Yep.
No, my target was... So, okay, let me fill you in.
Did you cut anyone's head off recently?
The fuck? No.
Okay. And she just goes back to thinking.
The reason I'm here... Listen, I take jobs. Sometimes they can be hits, but sometimes it can be acquiring goods. This one was acquire money. Don't harm anyone.
Cool. Right.
So, Dot pulls out his gun. Not me.
True.
I don't know what's going on. I don't want to hurt anyone. But if someone is hurting someone, I can step in.
Ooh.
But if we find them, I'm not trying to hurt them.
We found a headless body.
What?
Yeah. Outside. It was by one of the stalls? That's what it's called, right?
The vendor stalls for the festival?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know who it is. It doesn't match the kid. It doesn't match the wife. Doesn't match the dad. It's just some person.
I wasn't over there. I was just kind of staking out the house for most of the day, waiting to see when he was going to step out. Didn't know it was going to be an if situation. But I feel like things have changed a bit.
Yeah, a little.
But my job is still the money. Make that clear.
Sure.
But
she's skeptical of you.
As you should be. I mean, you're fair. But
you remind me of someone, so you're cool in my book.
Thanks.
You're welcome. It's a compliment. Trust me.
This is not a safe way to go about things, Sylvie.
What do you mean?
Trusting someone just because they remind you of someone?
Yeah.
No, you should listen. You should listen to her. I'm a bounty hunter. You shouldn't trust me.
You're not the only one I know.
Kind of like who looks concernedly at you.
Valora quirks her eyebrow when she shrugs.
She's just grinning.
All right, you're the one I'm going to talk to.
I don't really know her.
I'm hurt. I thought we were friends. You said we could be friends, Valora.
I've known you for a
You
day.
lied to me.
I've known you for a day, Sylvie.
Right.
So Eureka has known me the same amount of time. Okay, maybe by a few more minutes, but still.
All right.
We've been through
And what did Eureka do? She turned away and disappeared very suspiciously.
I don't like that.
Interesting.
I don't like being
I'm going to talk to
suspicious of
you.
people.
What was your name?
Is it
Valora.
Lucky?
Lucky.
I'm gonna go look at the toys. She just spins around on her
See if
heel.
you can find more drawings.
What?
I don't.
All right.
Should we show him it? And she just comes right back.
He already knows everything else, just to show it.
Yeah. She takes it out. Look, the kid was drawing things of his family.
Kind of looks at it.
The dad, he's real messed up.
The dad seems like he could
Kind of looks inquisitively at it. He's like, no child imaginations, but kid's 10 at this point. It's not as if it's an imaginary friend. Something was weird here. He kind of gives you the picture back. The whole family's unaccounted for at this point.
Yep.
Yes. I also came in contact with one of the slugs last night.
It tried to eat your face. Or something. I don't know.
I don't know what those things are. I don't even know if I want to know what those things are.
They're not part of the natural world. That much we know.
The only thing I know is that since I'm mistaken out the place, ain't nobody's left here yet. Haven't seen... Well, servant definitely know he hasn't left. Haven't seen Colborn or the wife or the child. They're all unaccounted for. I assume you haven't seen them in anywhere you've been in so far?
No.
The double doors.
We have not checked the whole
There's
second
one
story
room left.
According to
And
my
I have a
intel,
key.
that should be his study, so...
Uh-oh.
Well, I guess let's go check it.
Monster Dad! And then she just like holds both
Could you
of her
fucking
hands.
not? What the... Oh my god.
She's... how's the torch doing? Is the torch still doing good?
Oh, it's still lit and fine.
I don't know how long those last.
Valora watches Sylvie with her hands up in the air, and she like marches out of the room, and she just turns to Lucky and just...
They didn't pay me enough for this.
She just shakes her head.
Oh god. All right. And you see...
Almer, you've been really quiet. And she just looks over her shoulder at him.
I'm just here for the ride.
You led the charge!
Yeah, I'm here for the...
So as soon as you get to the place of adventure, you decide to be a follower.
Well, I got stuck, and then I found some nice bread. But then, you found a little doorway. She found the way in. He found the way in, too, apparently. Hello, sir. Nice to meet you. And he's like,
That's
Pleasure.
Almer. He used to be an adventurer.
good for you. And he just turns away. As you guys are walking up to the study, and you see that Almer kind of gets his staff at the ready. Lucky pulls out his gun that you can kind of see now. It's a very handcrafted. You don't see many guns around here in this area. It's not anything that's necessarily well known. You know what they are. They exist. They're extremely high class and expensive typically. And you see on the side of it, kind of built into one part, you see like a little notch and a roulette wheel of some kind that seems to be on the side of the weapon. Is he kind of getting himself at the ready, and he kind of looks at you guys and says, "I'm after you."
All right.
You have the key.
Yeah, Valora steps up to the double doors. She holds the key in her right hand, holds one of her hand axes in the other, and opens the door.
If it goes to the door.
Yeah, if the key goes through.
I'm assuming.
So you pull out the key, put in the door, and turn it slightly and feel as it turns the locking mechanism inside and unlocks it. Seems like the servant had a spare key to the study for if he ever had to go in there and service anything.
Can I try, before we open it, can I put my ear up to it to see if I hear anything moving around?
Make a perception check, yeah.
7.
7. You put your ear to
She's
the door.
either really good or really bad. There's no in between.
You put your ear to the door, and you can't hear anything through it. It almost seems as if this door is slightly thicker in a way, to where you're putting it up against it, and you're not trying too hard, but you don't hear anything.
Nothing. Maybe he's dead. That would suck.
Well, my job's not bad if he's alive or dead, but...
Takes out her... She's like dual wielding a torch and her crystal sickle.
Well, okay, I'm gonna open it then.
Okie dokie.
And Valora's gonna push open both doors.
All right, are you doing it like slowly, or are you just quickly pushing them open? Is there a certain way that you're doing it?
I feel like she's just gonna just push them open like how she normally would, just walking through a pair of double doors. Like she's not trying to really be sneaky or anything.
No. You unlock the doors, push them both open, and open up into this study room.
A bucket of acid falls on top of it.
But you're in this study area. Looks like a lot of the room has been cleared out. It seems kind of spacious in here where there used to be things. You kind of assume that they've been kind of yucked onto the stairs to block that up on you earlier. But looking inside, you see that there's a desk that's kind of been turned sideways. You see there's like one last little cabinet that's in the room, and then a window on the far end that's been closed up. And you see a figure kind of kneeling down at the far end that's kind of hovering over top of another body that's lying down.
No.
The body you can see is
Munch
wearing
crunch.
A dress. You don't hear like
No munching or crunching?
no munching. You hear sounds of like shuffling and the such, and like this weird squelching noise.
Ugh, that's
no.
worse.
Oh no.
That's worse.
But
Osmosis.
as you open the doors up, that figure kind of turns. It's in that same jacket, though it's torn up now that you had seen from the man in the carriage. As it turns, you somewhat see a face that you recognize, but it's extremely contorted and elongated as it turns towards you, and it kind of snarls as it turns around, and they stand up, and as they stand up they have to duck under the ceiling as they're towering over top of all of you guys.
As soon
it
as
looks at
Valora
you.
sees it, she's throwing her hand axe that she had ready.
Okay, make a quick roll to hit.
Oh my god.
Because that's just instinct right there.
Yep.
It's a natural one.
No!
A natural one.
It's a natural one.
I mean, it makes sense. This thing is not expected.
Natural
Probably
one.
nothing like she's ever seen
Yeah,
before.
you have not attuned to your necklace either, so you can't use that
frick.
feature yet.
Oh crap.
You'll have to attune to it at some point, so you're not able to get the advantage off of that yet.
Forgot that's a thing.
Take it.
But you throw the axe at it as it quickly like darts to the side, and as it shifts to the side a little bit, you see the figure behind it of the female figure in the dress, and you see that the head has been removed.
Oh no.
But you see that the body starts twitching,
Uh-oh.
and it starts moving and standing up.
With no head?
As it does so, and you can get to see more of the vision, you can see that on top of it is one of those slug-like beings.
Oh no.
And the tendril goes around behind it and attaches into where you would assume the spinal cord would be. As that figure stands up and stands
God.
next to
Do
it.
that to you!
Oh god.
It would have eaten your head and taken control of your body.
And as both of them stand facing you, we'll end the session there.
Oh my god, dude! No!
Oh boy!
What the hell?
This is straight out of a sci-fi horror film.
It is.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much, everyone,
Yeah,
for
thanks.
tuning in to another episode of
you,
Arcane
guys.
Trinity.
Oh my god.
And we will see you next time as we step into our first real combat session.
Cryptid dad now. He's just evolving.
Oh,
my
man.
gosh.
Hey everybody, it is Evan from the future here, and thank you again for listening to another episode of Tides of Esthios here on Arcane Trinity, starring Allie with one L's, also known as Alivar as Sylvie, Allie with two L's, also known as Alley Cat as Valora, and myself, Evan, also known as Masked Man as the DM, and everyone else. Thank you all for listening to this on your choice of Spotify or YouTube, available on both your service of choice, known as Arcane Trinity Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter or X at Arcane Trinity _. You can also find us on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook at Arcane Trinity Podcast. You can also join our little Arcane Trinity Discord server to talk with all of your fellow fans about the things going on in the show and all the craziness you just saw today. You can also support us on Patreon, just like Whispersmith, and get some extra juicy bonus content, like our post-episode wraps after every episode, and more goodies coming to you at Arcane Trinity Podcast on Patreon. And all of those links can be found in the link tree in the description of the episodes. Thank you all again for supporting us on another wonderful episode, and we will see you Friday for the next one. Bye-bye!